So, I wanted to pop on today and chat a little bit about self love and why self love is sometimes a hard sell. And I was having a conversation with a friend, and she was talking about how she was doing an event for Valentine's Day, and it was all of her promotions were around, love yourself and, do this thing for yourself. And she said no one was signing up. And, it occurred to me that oftentimes self love is just, it does not get our attention. It's a hard sell. And so I wanted to tune in for a couple minutes and talk about that, why that might be, why that's unfortunate, and also how we can, love ourselves more. Because I promise you, that is the road to everything that you want in this world and more. Plus, it feels good. So I was thinking about that, and I was thinking about why is self-love such a hard sell? And I think the first reason is that a lot of us have been taught, we have this conditioning that says, especially women, you care about yourself first, then you're selfish and there's something wrong with you. Right. And so we don't feel like we're deserving. We don't feel like it's allowed. We even feel like if we want to care to ourselves for ourselves or love ourselves, we kind of got to like play it down. Right. If you are too magnanimous towards yours truly, people are going to say, wow, you're going to get a swelled head. You're not going to care about other people. We have this confusion that self love is almost like narcissism, right? Where we are prioritizing ourselves over others, right? But nothing could actually be further from the truth. And people that do tend towards that narcissistic personality, and my guys have always said, to some degree, that prioritization of self is something that narcissists actually get right. But oftentimes, people that really have that very narcissistic kind of personality, they're kind of frozen in the scarcity mindset that says, I have to prioritize myself over you. And not only that, but they're big, grandiose statements of self love and that constant need that they have for, aggrandization. I think that's the word I'm looking for. And a lot of people telling them how awesome they are is because inside they don't feel so great at all. Right. And so if they really unconditionally loved themselves as they were, if they were tapped into that, there'd be no need for narcissism at all. Right. And also oftentimes, there's no need for comparison, right? Self love isn't, I love myself more than someone else. Self love is unconditional. It's just knowing that you are love incarnate. That's what you are. And when you can give that lens back to yourself and recognize how amazing you are, how beautiful you are, how worthy you are, how fantastic you are, how desirable you are, and how lovable you are, that's when you really truly come home to yourself. So I think the first reason why a lot of people, especially women, but men as well, will sometimes push away, or eschew this idea of self-love is they confuse it with self-aggrandization. I can't speak today, or narcissism, or being full of themselves. They have not been given or learned that it's okay to give themselves permission to be loving on themselves, on yourself. Okay. And again, nothing could be further from the truth. I often say, and my guides often say, if there's one person that you are going to be with, that you're going to have a relationship from birth to death. And if you've been following me a while, you've heard me say this before, one person and one person only, right? It's not your mom. It's not your dad, most likely. It's probably not even one of your siblings, even if they were born first, right? The one person that you are guaranteed, or your romantic partner, the one person you are guaranteed to spend your entire life with is yourself. There's no way around it. So why would you prioritize that relationship over everything else, right? It's the most important one. And oftentimes it's the one that we neglect. It's the one that we neglect. Okay. Um, and again, a lot of this is rooted in the scarcity idea that if I love myself, there won't be room in my heart to love others, but love is infinite. You are infinite, right? Anyone who has more than one child, right, has learned that when the second one came along, you didn't stop loving the first one. You didn't be like, oh, I don't love that one anymore because now I have two, right? No, your heart expanded, right? And we have an infinite amount of love in our hearts. We are infinite beings, and love is infinite, right? So when we're not looking at it through that lens of scarcity, you can see that your love for yourself actually spills over and allows you to cleanly, clearly, and completely love everyone else. Okay. So it's the biggest gift that you give to yourself and also to the rest of the world. So it's really super duper important. The second reason, and they're all kind of related, I'm just, slicing them up for effect. But the second reason why a lot of people, push away or look down on or not super sold with this whole idea of self-love is they don't believe that they're worthy, right? They believe that that's something for someone else. I have to earn this, right? Because they believe that love is conditional, right? And maybe that's how they experienced it. And they have learned that their love for themselves also needs to be conditional, right? When I'm good enough, I'll earn my own respect. I'll earn my own love. I'll earn my own trust, right? Some of us have just learned too through osmosis. We've been conditioned, right? Just to believe that we're not worthy, right? Maybe we got this from a parent that also felt that way and we kind of sucked it in and made it our own. Or maybe our life events have taught us, or the way that we've interpreted our life events have taught us that we are not worthy of love. And if this rings true for you at all, my friends, then please, please, please give yourself some love around that, right? Give yourself some space. Know that it's safe to love yourself. It is safe to love yourself because many of us learned that it was not, right? We had people in our world who, again, said, if you feel too good about you, you won't show up and do what I want you to do, right? Or if you feel too good about yourself, you won't be ambitious. You won't be motivated to do things in the world. And none of that's true, right? And when we take actions in the world to prove our worthiness or to prove our lovability, we are always chasing our tails and we will never be satisfied, right? Because if you don't know it at the start and you are always seeking and searching for it out there by the things that you do or the approval of others, you will always, always be chasing your tail, okay? Because it doesn't come from there. It comes from here first, every single time. So if any of this rings true for you, I want you to know that you're worthy. You're worthy. You're lovable. You're beautiful. You're perfect just as you are in your beautiful human imperfection. And you got this. You got this. And anywhere where you can just create a little space to be kind to yourself, to be loving to yourself, or even to soothe that part of yourself that doesn't feel lovable or is afraid, to be loved by you, you will make inroads into healing yourself and healing the world. I promise you are worthy. I think another reason why people don't love this idea of self-love, right, is they believe, and some people say this, I actually say this, right, that in order to really experience love coming back to you from other people, from the world, that external satisfaction, right, that external validation, it really helps to love yourself first. But many of us don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. We feel like the people in our world haven't shown up for us, and we want people to start. We don't want to have to do all the work of loving ourselves. We want them to do it for us. And I get that. I get that, my beautiful friends. You should not have to do all the work on your own. That's a lot. That's a lot of heaviness. That's a lot of effort. That said, and you deserve the people in your world to show up for you. You deserve the people in your world to shower you with love and reflect back to your own beautiful lovability. But the thing is, where we can't find that in our hearts, it's hard to see it out there, even if it's being shown to us, right? And because everything in this world works according to the law of attraction, if we don't feel it inside, right, or where we don't feel it inside, because we all got some of it. You are love incarnate, so there's always a part of you that didn't forget that, right? But the more we forget, the more we see the opposite of that show up in our lives, right? We see all those all those areas where we have disconnected from ourselves and from our own lovability, right? And we usually see those in other people and their behaviors, right? Or sometimes in that little voice in our head. So, hold on, lost my train of thought. That's why I prefer audio to video because audio is much harder to edit out. So give me a minute. Ay, 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 ay. So the last reason why many of us, or another reason why many of us, don't want to invest in this work of self-love is because it feels hard. And we feel like I shouldn't have to love myself first. Other people should just love me just as I am because I deserve that. And you do deserve that. You 1,000% deserve that. And even knowing that and feeling that way is proof positive that you already know how lovable you are and what you actually deserve, right? You deserve that, right? So start by giving it to yourself as well. And remember, it's not an either or. When you honor that little child in you that says, I don't want to have to work for it, I deserve to be loved. And then you give that child a hug, right? You are reaffirming your own lovability. You are reaffirming your own lovability, and it all starts with you. It doesn't mean that you also will not attract in people in your life that can reflect back how lovable you are. And I'd start looking for those people now, because oftentimes we look for the ones that don't give us that message rather than looking at the ones that do, and all the little ways in which the universe is reflecting back to us our own lovability and magnificence. So I don't think that self-love should be a hard sell. I actually think that it is the most important thing that you can give to yourself and the planet. And it just takes some time to sit with yourself and to remember how beautiful you are, how lovable you are, and how deserving you are of your own beautiful love. And I would say too, that wherever you feel that it's hard, that it doesn't feel resonant, that I don't want to do this today, that I'm not sure I'm deserving, that I don't even know where to start. All of those are little bits within you, right? That just need to be soothed, that need to be loved, that are reminding you, right? That feeling is reminding you just how worthy you are of your own and everyone's love. All right, I'm going to stop here with this one today. Thank you guys all for tuning in. I can't wait to hear what you all think in the comments. Love you all for reals, and namaste.